Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the You Know Nothing podcast, where we react to some of the new and exciting shows and movies in pop culture and know absolutely nothing about what we're talking about. I'm Ray. I'm here once again with my co-host Michelle, and today,
Hello.
hey Michelle, how are you?
I am doing well. How about you?
I'm good, and I'm ready to refresh everybody's memory on a pretty big film from about 14 years ago. And that movie is Avatar. My God, I can't believe it's been 14 years waiting for the sequel. I was worried that I'll be dead before the sequel came out.
Yeah, a lot of
Uh,
Avatar Airbender before we got Avatar 2.
exactly. So before we start, again, we have a YouTube channel now. If you can, please like and subscribe and share. We're just getting started on, bringing you some good content, talking about all your favorite shows and movies. And it'll really help us out if you can share. If you can share the YouTube video or the podcast with your friends and loved ones. The link will be in. We'll put the link on the Facebook page, so should be pretty easy for everyone. Also, this show is made possible by the folks at Good Goods. Good Goods is on a mission to make reuse a thing again. They work with folks from around New York City to ensure that everything you buy comes in fully reusable packaging. So whether it's groceries or household items, or even more boutique products like fresh cold pressed juice, cold brew coffee, or a variety of nut milks. Good Goods will ensure that all of its packaging gets reused. So visit their website. That's at thegoodgoods.co. That's thegoodgoods.co, and you can learn more about what they do. So, see, it's a pretty good company, and make sure that you're buying the goods without the garbage. So yeah, have you ever used Good Goods, Michelle?
I have not yet. Looking forward to it though.
What? Oh man, you got to use Good Goods, man. They come, everything they bring you is in like this cool packaging, and you don't have to. Nothing goes to waste. You can live like Kim Kardashian without having Kim Kardashian money.
Oh, sounds perfect. That's all I
Yeah,
need. I'm one step away from being Kim Kardashian.
me too. How good?
Same.
Yeah. Um. Let's jump into it then. Avatar. My God. So, Avatar came out about as I said, 14 years ago. I was a whole different person back then.
Totally.
This was like what, fresh out of college. When this movie came out, it was one of it still is the highest grossing film ever. They kind of cheated. I don't know if you knew this, but Avengers Endgame actually beat Avatar in grossing films. And top grossing films, I think they made like over $2 billion or something, like 2.3 or something. I don't know. I don't know anything. But then Avatar re-released it.
Oh,
They like re-released it in China like a year ago and bumped themselves back over to be number one.
is that cheating or is that a smart move?
That's cheating. That's without a doubt cheating. Yeah, without a doubt, that's cheating. Um, but yeah, did you go see it? Like, did you see it when it first came out? What was your first sort of dive into Pandora?
My dive into Pandora was a Pandora bracelet. I did actually not see it when it first came out, which is shocking to me now, knowing me now, but I was not really into sci-fi and fantasy at that age. I was
Oh my
more
god, who
into
were you?
I know, not the same person. I was more into nonfiction and I was like gearing up for grad school and everything. So I was like very much into like academia. So I didn't see it. I saw it probably 2 years ago. And I absolutely, which is again shocking because I'm vegan. My guy James Cameron is vegan. So I should have been a big supporter of his. Did not see it, but did see it a couple years ago. And I'm glad I saw it when I was like in the headspace of liking this kind of content. So I absolutely loved it. Watched it on my couch and just was enthralled. Like I was getting
Oh
the
wow.
chills. I was smiling. I was laughing. I was crying. I loved it. What about you? So it sounds like you saw it when it first came out.
Dude, I'm the reason why it's a top grossing film.
You're like, I saw it 40 times.
Dude, like I had just graduated. I put it like this: this thing hit me at such the right time, right? Not the right time, but like for it, right? So I had just graduated. I had just gotten out of like a long-term relationship.
Mm.
So like this love story really like was kind of hit. I was also it was like the first time in my life I was like dating as an adult.
This is
And dude,
hilarious.
every single woman who's ever dated me like went to go see this movie with me. Right?
Some people have a bar. You had a theater, movie
Some people
theater.
had a bar. I just went. It was just like it was like my pickup line, right? It was like, "Have you seen Avatar? Like, do you want to go see it? Well, let's go."
So you
And
want
I
to hold
must have saw,
hands at the movies?
dude, I must have saw it like 15 times.
Were you
Like,
comparing these ladies with Natiri?
none of them compared. None of them were big. None of them were big and blue.
No.
Wait a second. Maybe.
Hopefully not.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it's
not.
funny. It's funny if somebody on my page, if one of them on my page or kind of sees this, they're gonna be like, "Wait, that motherfucker took me to go see Avatar."
Yeah, all y'all.
Oh yeah, I took everybody to go see Avatar. And
That's so
one of them
funny.
being my future wife, right? Christine. I took Christine to go see Avatar.
How
Back then.
romantic.
Yeah. It's also like
You're gonna get a little smack when she listens to this, I think.
no, she knows this
She
already.
already
She
she's
knows.
like she already knows all my games.
She knew. She knows by now. Like I told her, like, yeah, Avatar, I took everybody to go see that shit.
You were like,
And
but
then,
you're the one going to see Avatar too.
exactly. But only one of them come with me to see Avatar too. So you're good. You win. You won. Right.
Yep.
So then, yeah, and it's also become like so I saw it in every medium that it could be. I saw it regular, saw it 3D, saw it IMAX 3D. I've seen it in all types of ways. And then it's also the movie that I used to watch a movie on the first time I buy a TV.
Oh,
Right. So like
interesting.
I always watch Avatar when I first buy a TV to test to see how the TV looks.
Wait,
Because
so I don't think you should be doing this podcast because this is the You Know Nothing podcast.
yeah. I mean, I think that's a play on words. I think the you and the you
No
know
kidding.
nothing is the other people listening.
This time it's You Know Everything.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, nothing plays into a lot of other things, but when it comes to like A Song of Ice and Fire and Avatar, your boy knows. Your boy knows everything. Yeah, I mean, I watched this so many times. I actually didn't even watch it again to prepare for this because I didn't need to. I've seen it so much, like to the point where I like reciting the Navi language. So yeah, I love this movie. I love the way it looked. I think I love it more for like where I was at the time that I watched it, more so than the actual movie itself, right? Like the plot is very basic. It's basically a Dances with Wolves knockoff.
It's
Like
very
if you've seen
Fern Gully.
yeah, it's like Fern Gully mixed with Dances with Wolves. It's not original. And so, I mean, and we're going to talk about it later. Some of the things that, like, what they could have done during this gap that I feel they missed out on. But yeah, that's how Avatar has played a role in my life for the last 14 years. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies. I mean, visually, especially at the time, it was the gold standard of how movies look today, right? Remember, this was like the first fully motion capture movie that came out. Like this, Andy Serkis would not have a career if it wasn't for James Cameron and Avatar, right? If you think about all the movies that followed and using the methods of Avatar, like Planet of the Apes and Andy Serkis with the motion capture, Thanos was filmed the exact same way as they did in Avatar. So like aside from the plot, it was like monumental in filmmaking and its visuals. So I loved it. I've always loved it, and yeah. So that's me. That's me and Avatar, or Avatar and I.
Yeah, it sounds like it was almost everything to you. That's amazing. I love
It
that.
was. It was. It was. Cool. So what's the point? What's the goal? Right, we're about to go see Avatar 2. Um,
Yes.
it's been so long since a lot of people watched it, and I felt that that we should kind of like break down the story, break down the characters, and see just makes just any for anyone who's like listening or watching on YouTube to give them like a nice solid refresher of what to expect when they go into the movie, or like what to remember
Yeah,
when
and
they go in.
I did just rewatch it. So I have it's very fresh in my mind. And I think everyone, if you can, you should rewatch it. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, definitely. So all right, so you want to jump into like first, like let's introduce the characters. Let's see, and just kind of like give a quick who they are, what they do, kind of thing.
Yeah, sounds
Let's
good.
see here. I made a slideshow.
Oh, let's get it going. Oh,
Let's see. Yep. So, yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the slides that I have up here. The main character, of course. You want to get into it, Michelle?
yeah, we got our guy Jake Sully, who is a Marine who is the main character of the film. And he is an avatar, or he's made into an avatar. Is that how it works? I know nothing.
Yeah. He has an avatar.
Has an avatar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, so he's there.
He's,
He was a Marine, and he comes into the Navi world. And so it's just his story.
yep. And he's played by Sam Worthington,
Mhm.
who actually like hasn't done anything big since Avatar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
surprising.
I know. You would think that he'd become like this huge star after, and
Don't you think with animated films it's a little bit harder though? Because people don't recognize your face and it's just your voice.
no,
So I could see that.
no. I mean, he was in it for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's true. He was.
he was in it for a lot of it, and I mean, the Avatar looks just like him, right? Like,
Yeah, and I bet people thought he would be more of like this would be a breakout role for him.
yeah. I mean, he played Terminator. I think the problem is that the stuff that he did after this was bad, right? Like
Yeah.
he did Terminator, bad movie, and then the Wrath of the Titans or something like that. It was also bad. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And just as a refresher, he lost the ability to use his legs in some kind of war or some kind of marine setting. And so he was loving being able to run again as an avatar. That was a big
hmm
plot point. So he was just really thriving in the avatar in the Navi world.
yep. All right, let's see who's next. I think we're gonna go with the humans and then go into the Navi people. This is Grace Augustine. She
Yep.
was a scientist, a botanist, and she was on Pandora, studying the plant life and the animal life. She was a teacher for the Navi people. She taught them English and things like that. She was like an ambassador to the Navi people. Um, she was the one who kind of discovered the interconnectivity of all of the plants and the animals on the moon. Actually, it's not even a planet; it's a moon.
Oh.
Um, so yeah, this is Grace Augustine. She's played by Sigourney Weaver, and of course, you would know her from Aliens. That's where I know her best from. Aliens.
And she had good
Uh,
intentions. So that's
yeah,
important. There's humans with bad intentions, there's humans with good intentions. She had very good intentions.
I mean, you can argue what's good or what's bad, but
I
the,
thought
the the movie, of course, is like she's a
it's
good
James
guy.
Cameron.
Yeah. She's a good guy, right? This
Oh,
you remember who this is?
Norm. I do. He was a scientist friend of Jake's brother. And he also went into the Na'vi world through an avatar. So he is the same type of science that Jake does, becomes an avatar, but he was more helpful to Grace Augustine to help her do the science part. He wasn't as sort of like adept at being integrated into the Na'vi people, or even just he was not very athletic, but he was a great character.
Yeah. So yeah, Norm is played by Joel David Moore, and I think his whole thing was like he was jealous of Jake because
Mm-hmm.
he had studied and trained.
Yeah.
Um,
Learn the language.
he knows the Navi language. Like he's been ready for this, and like Jake just kind of comes in out of nowhere and is like this jarhead fucking grunt or brute, right? And is able to do everything he's doing. But he's like trained for years and years to be able to do this mission. And this guy just like it's like falls into his his lap or whatever, his wheelchair, I guess. So yeah,
His
that's
lap.
Joel. Yeah, that's yeah, his lap. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, that's him. That's Norm. He's more of like a side character. But yeah, that's him. Let's see who's next. Ooh, the man, Colonel Quaritch.
I'm gonna go with not such a good guy, but I guess it depends.
Bad guy.
A bad guy. So he was definitely what I would consider a bad guy, and he was helping the sort of like capitalist methods for trying to exploit the resources on the planet, on Pandora. And that being said, he did connect with Jake because Jake was military, he was military, and they definitely at first formed a relationship in which he was trying to get Jake to help him with his evil plan to take all the resources from Pandora. That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. Nothing really to add there. He's the bad guy who wants bad guy who wants to exploit the resources of the Navi people.
Jacked.
Yeah, I mean he's played by Stephen Lang, who also didn't sort of get a bunch of big roles afterwards. He dies in spoiler alert, 14-year spoiler alert. He dies. Not Stephen Lang. Sorry, Colonel Quaritch, the character, dies in or you think he dies in the first movie, but is apparently being come back. I forgot. Him and Dr. Augustine die in the first movie and are apparently in the sequel. So
interesting.
I don't know how that's gonna work, but they're there.
Don't you feel like he has like 3 roles that he can play? It's like military, cop, and maybe those are the only 2.
Yeah, Stephen Lang.
Yeah, he's really typecast.
Yeah. He's pretty typecast. Like he's buzz cutted. Yeah. But I'm sure those roles exist, right?
Yeah. Listen, there's a ton of them.
Exactly. Let's see who's next. Ooh, we get into now. This is Boothang Natiri.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, you want me to go?
Yeah. Yeah, you go.
Yeah. So Natiri is was the main sort of character in the Navi people. She is slated to be the next sort of mother, like what is it, the witch doctor? I forgot the name. The Sahik.
YouKnowNothing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the Sahik. And so yeah, she's the one who first meets Jake and introduces him to the Pandora, the Navi world, and is sort of like his guide into Pandora. And then that buds into like a relationship or whatever. And we'll get into that more when we start talking about the plot. But Natiri is played by Zoe Saldana, who we all know from her plenty. If there's one person that fucking shot out like a rocket from this movie is Zoe Saldana. She was in, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Infinity War, Endgame, you know, a whole bunch of things. I mean, she's it's actually weird. She's actually in 3 of the top 5 grossing movies of all time.
Oh, look at her.
Yes. So she's in Avatar, which is the top. She's in Endgame, which is second, and she's in Infinity War, which I believe is 5th.
Oh, wow.
So you put
It's
Zoe
her.
Saldana in your movie, yeah. Like
That's
she's
it.
just been in some bangers.
Yeah, blockbuster hits. Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Neytiri. Anything you want to add?
No, I'm just in love with her.
Yeah, and I also don't know if I said that right. If the Sahik is actually what she becomes, or if the Sahik is like the chief or whatever. But she's one of them. Here's the next. This is Sute.
Sute.
Sute is played by Lance Alonso, who you may know from The Boys.
Oh, okay.
Have you watched The Boys?
Who is he in The Boys?
Eminem, Mother's Milk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's played by him. Sute is set up to be the next like chief. Etukan, I believe it's called. He's set up to be the next chief. He's like the main dude, alpha male. And him and Navi and Neytiri are a mated pair. They're like betrothed in Game of Thrones terms. They're betrothed.
Yeah, they're meant to be together. They're
They're a
meant to be
mated pair.
the leaders.
Yeah.
I don't think they're considered a mated pair because they
Not a
didn't-
mated pair, but
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. They're
Yeah.
what did she say? What you call it? They say something in the movie.
Yeah,
They say there's a something word pair.
yeah.
But basically they're betrothed.
They're meant to be the leaders of the Navi people.
Yeah.
That's sort of overall what it is. But he's a warrior and does not really love Jake Sully.
No,
for
he's an outsider.
Many reasons.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna get into it in the plot, but like at this point, when Jake finally meets them, the Navi people are just like done with the humans. Like, get the fuck away from us.
Mm-hmm.
So this is hold on. So this is Etukan is the name. All right, so this is Moat and Etukan. Basically the chief and like the witch doctor mother. This is Neytiri's mother and father. And they're the ones who are like running the show, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually when Jake finally meets them. It's the mother who actually who basically convinces the father that they need to teach Jake their ways because they've never seen a warrior avatar before. So yeah, that's them. They're the mother and father of Neytiri. I don't really have much to add, and I didn't look up their actors. Sorry. And then I think one of the main characters of the whole thing is Awa.
Awa.
Right? Awa is. How can I explain what Awa is?
Awa is. I would say some people would compare it to the connection. Some people would say it's the connection, the universal connection that all beings in Pandora have together. It was almost like a god to them, and it's in every being, in every plant, every animal, all the people of Pandora. It's quite a beautiful. Awa was quite a beautiful concept, I thought.
Yeah, Awa is like Black Panther's ancestral plane, right?
Except it's more like present. I think it's very present in Pandora.
Yeah, so it's like the way Grace explains it right, is that each plant on Pandora is connected to every other plant and it creates a synapse, right? Similar to like the human brain, except it's like the whole planet is a brain. And
Mm-hmm.
and then the Navi people are able to access this brain. The people, the animals, they're able to access this like inner knowledge. Um, and it's like in there is like anyone's dreams and memories, um, like their like soul or whatever, can be accessed by anyone at any time, right? Like think about the internet on like a billion, right? And that's what the planet is. And that's what Awa is. And they see Awa as their deity. This is their god because their god is the one that um, encapsulates all that is, was, and ever will be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can access ancestors through it, and it's
Yeah.
concentrated in certain areas of Pandora.
Yeah, it's concentrated in certain areas, in these like trees. That's where like think of it as like the pit stop, right? It's like a gas station, so we can go and fill up on your grandma's memories, I guess.
Yeah. No, but that's kind of nice. Like, it's almost like when people die there, they don't die, and there's, you still have access to
Yeah,
the existence of that person.
exactly. I could definitely see why people would consider this like a god, right?
Yeah, or also yeah, like a god or the universe itself.
Exactly, because at least you're getting like more feedback, right? It's not like with
Not
us, it's like
ours.
exactly
Yeah.
like with us, it's like we pray and then hope that something happens, and like just kind of just have to believe that who we're praying to is listening. Whereas, like, yeah, you could just plug your hair into this tree and it fucking tells you what grandma said. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with it.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's probably it's not that simple, but
some people they can hear God, just FYI.
yeah,
I've
okay.
seen them. I've seen them on the subway.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're plugging something else into the anyway. All right, so those are the characters. Those are sort of like the main things you need to know going in. I'm sure there's going to be a ton new characters, some old ones returning who were supposed to be dead, but they said fuck it, we're going to bring them in.
Well, they
Um,
come back through AWA.
exactly. Well, no, I think they actually like come back.
I'm curious if they're going to come back as Avatar, or are they going to come back as will they come back as Navi people? Will they come back as? But anyway, we could talk about that after.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end of this, like our expectations for the next one. But I mean, that'll be the easy way to do it, right? They made Jake an avatar.
Yeah.
So
Well, there was a lot of praying and ceremony associated with that, but
yeah.
why would you do that with Colonel Quaritch? Anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. All right. So let's jump into sort of like the high level beats of the plot. Like, I'm not going to recap the whole movie like we do with the shows, but I mean, we can just go through like the high points of the plot, just to get folks a reminder of what actually happened.
In case you don't have many hours and you just have one, you can listen to this and you'll be ready.
Exactly. So the movie starts out with where we see Earth, right? And at this point, this is like I don't know. I forget if they actually mentioned how many years, but this is like the recent future, right? It's the future, but it's not like millennia. It's like a couple hundred years or 1,000 years from now. And it's like this dystopian future. You could tell like the Earth has gone to shit. Probably global warming. It's not like we're probably overpopulated. It's just like the Earth is just shitty, right? And we meet this guy Jake, who is a former Marine who has lost the use of his legs. He appears to be like in a bad spot, drinking a lot, like just living out counting the days of his life. Right? Finds out his brother died, and his brother was a botanist who was part of an Avatar program being sent to Pandora, right? And what the Avatar program was that this they take like the cells and the consciousness of one person and put it into uh, an avatar, which is in the shape of the Navi people, right? So like your consciousness goes inside of another body.
Oh, and kind of cool. They grow the body. It's not like
Yeah,
they take one over. I thought that was
exactly.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
yeah. This
and
is like a brand new body.
they use your DNA. They use your DNA, so it looks like you. And that's important because that's why
That's
Jake.
important because that's the reason. So Jake's brother actually dies, and that's the reason why they get Jake, because they're twins. They have the same DNA. He can actually use his brother's avatar, right? And so he ends up taking over in the mission and going to Pandora. So yeah, I mean, I thought, you get these cool shots um, of what Earth looked like. You get to see space travel in the beginning, how it actually
Sleep
works, and it seems like,
chambers.
yeah, they put them in all sleep chambers and things like that. And then you get your first looks at like what Pandora looks like. Like you see, it's a moon, it's not a planet. Um, but yeah, that's like how the movie starts.
Yes. Just to add, this I thought was very James Cameron.
Yeah.
That Jake was there basically because I felt like the government was continuing to fail veterans, right? Like he didn't have any support, he didn't have any services. Same old America,
Yeah.
where he's just left to his own devices and he can't get his use of his legs back, even though that's totally possible in this world.
Yeah, I mean they could fly, light years away. Like you can't fix this guy's legs.
And they can. We find that out later.
Yeah.
That they have the ability to. It's just expensive, but it's expensive. It's not free healthcare, and so I thought it was very James Cameron. It was like a commentary on the
1,000 years from now, we
thing.
still can't figure out the VA.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was very interesting, and made Jake Sully a little bit more likable if you think about that.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we're still having wars, that far in the future, where I'm sure like wars are usually fought based on like resources and things. And it's like, what resources are we fighting for in this world, right? Like,
depends if
yeah,
it's probably more oil, it's
like are we still fighting for oil?
Water.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. It's like James Cameron has a pretty sad outlook on humanity.
Listen, but my guy did a lot of movies, and that's his outlook.
Yeah, it's very Cameron-y.
Yeah.
All right, so Jake arrives on the planet, and he meets Dr. Augustine. She goes over the program. She's like pissed off to see him, right? Because it's like
she's not a fan.
She's not a fan. She's like, I trained a botanist who studied and trained for the mission for like 15 years. I don't need like some security guard. And,
your brother was a genius, and
your brother was a genius, and you're like a moron.
Yeah, you're a brute.
Yeah, and Jake has a good line about it. He's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, he's dead, right? Like, what do you want me to do?"
Yeah. Good vibes.
And then so that's when we're introduced to Grace, to Norm. You get the sense that like Jake kind of really wasn't wanted with them, and is like kind of looked down upon. But where he receives solace is with Colonel Quaritch, because he loves the fact that he's going to have an ex-Gyrene in the military with an avatar body. Now that's a sight.
Wow, look at you. That was spot on.
Yeah, I got an ex-Gyrene in an avatar body. So he's like loving the fact that Jake is there. and he's like, "Listen, you go talk to you work and play with these science geeks, but you report to me."
Yep. Yeah, it's almost like this is his dream come true. He's been waiting for this moment.
Exactly. He has a really good setup with Jake, right? And of course, it's like there's like this military sort of culture where it's like, but no matter where you are, it's like I have my orders. I'm a soldier. I report to commanding officer, and so Colonel Courage kind of really plays into that to make sure that he knows that Jake is on his side. He's like the inside man with the scientists.
I think importantly, I mentioned this before, but there was a very strong connection with they're military contractors, so they're not there because the government wants them necessarily to be there. They're there because a company is there to try to get as much of this certain resource, unobtainium, as physically possible. Yeah. And they've found that there's a ton of unobtainium in Pandora, or on Pandora, or under Pandora. And so this Colonel Quaritch is part of this military contracting company, and he's helping this company sort of deal with the Na'vi people so that they can get
the natives. That's what you call it, the natives. Yeah,
right. It's just horrible. And they're trying to manage them, and they use different strategies, including having Grace set up schools and work with the people and have more of this like carrot approach. And they also have the military, which uses this sort of stick approach.
Exactly. So you start to see the dynamic being played here, right? Like the company is there to get the resource, and Grace is there for diplomacy, right? Yes. And diplomacy and research. Her and her team are there for diplomacy and research, and then Quaritch and his team is there for security. And so you got Jake now. For the first time, you have a character like Jake who's there and is in the middle of both those approaches. Yes. And it plays into like really big like plot development and character dynamics between the two sides and the two factions of the humans on this planet. Yeah, so I mean, so Grace and Jake, they go out on their first mission, right? So Grace and her team, they go out on their first like sort of mission. You know, Jake finally gets into his new avatar body.
Oh my gosh, we forgot to say Michelle Rodriguez is in this movie. I remembered it, like when I watched it again, I was like, yes, Michelle Rodriguez. She's one of the
she's family.
Yeah, she's one of the contractors, but she's seems like a good one.
Oh yeah, I didn't put her in the character slides.
Yeah,
she dies too, and I don't think she's coming back. So I didn't think she was important.
Giovanni something is in this movie. I forgot his real name, the actor. He's, I would say, B or C list, but he's pretty famous. But he's the one who represents the company. I forgot his name.
I always think of him as Phoebe's younger brother.
Yes, and he isn't he in Fight Club too, maybe? Or no, he's in Gone in 60 Seconds.
I don't know.
He's the brother in Gone in 60 Seconds.
I only know he's Phoebe's younger brother.
He's done quite a few movies, but yeah, so he's the representative from the big corporation. Yeah. So keep going. So they're on their first mission.
Yeah, they're on their first mission. This is where we learn about Pandora, its synapses. Grace is sort of talking to Norm about all the stuff that she's learned and found out. And next thing you know, and Jake is there as security, right? So Jake finally gets his avatar. He's in his new body. He's walking for the first time, and the one thing I think Norm says is like he catches onto it like really quick, right? Like he's able to walk and run and breathe and jump. He sees Grace for the first time in her avatar body. And so they go out on this mission. He's there for security. Next thing you know, You know, he's like playing around with like the scenery. They run into like this rhino looking group. I think it is. They look like rhinoceros. They look like
Yep.
hammerhead rhinoceroses.
Yeah, they're
right?
huge. And there's
Hammerhead
babies.
rhinos. And then next thing you know, he gets chased by this big leopard looking thing that they call a thanator. This is crazy. I remember. Look, I did not watch the movie. I did not watch the movie again.
Literally, this whole time, I'm like, he's gonna mess up the sequence. But no, you're like, he plays with the scenery. It's like, yeah, he touches them, and then they squish back in.
Yes,
like,
I did not watch.
anemones.
I think I haven't watched this thing in like maybe a year or two or something.
No,
like,
you're
this is how much I've seen it.
And I watched it so recently, so I'm like, yep, he's right. I know. It's just like.
And then he starts running, and an angry Thanator.
Yeah, the Thanator.
That's how
he knows everything.
Yeah. So then, this thing starts chasing him. They get separated. He jumps off a cliff. They get separated. He's there at night. He's scared shitless. He's there at night, but everything on Pandora lights up, right? He is attacked by a bunch of dogs.
It's like he's a smaller scared. Version of that.
He's scared. They look like Houndour, to be real. Houndour and Houndooms. Pokemon. So, you know, he's there. He's scared. He's building fires. He's doing everything that he was trained to do to survive.
He has a fire stick.
He has a torch.
A torch. A fire stick.
A fire stick. But he's about to play. He's going to plug in and watch movies.
He's going to stream some services.
Yeah, he's going to stream the new Lord of the Rings while he's waiting for help. So, yeah, he goes. He's making a lot of noise. He gets attacked by this pack of
Houndour.
Houndour. This pack of Houndours, and is saved by Natiri, who has apparently been stalking him the whole time. And
like a boss, like you can see the way she is so one with her body. So beautiful, like getting so close to the ground and just like making absolutely no noise, and just she's
like a baby.
Her use of making her noise. Body is just
so she ends up having to save Jake from the Houndour attack, and ends up having to kill one of them, right? And this is what gets her like really upset. She's like, yo, you're a fucking baby. You don't know what to do out here. You're making noise. And because of that, I had to kill this dog, right? And she goes to kill him. She goes to try to before she saves him, she's going to kill him, right? She has her bow and arrow pulled out, like, I'm going to kill this thing. We learn later that she already knows that that's not a real person, that it's an avatar. So it's like, you don't have to be like, God damn, she was about to murder him. That's crazy. But then the big thing that pops up is that the seed of Awa falls onto her bow. And she sees this as a sign from Awa not to kill him, that he must be special. And that's why she saves him from the Houndours and brings him back to the people.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so he's there, he's hanging out, he meets Moat and Etukan. You know, they're like, oh, who's this warrior? We never seen a warrior avatar before. We're interested, we're curious. This is part of the movie where I was like, dude, like where it was unbelievable. Like they just like you just met this guy, and because I guess it's because the seed of Awa landed on the arrow, but like, let's bring him in and teach him all of our secrets. Like, what?
Yeah, but they're also used to grace, and they're used to the avatars being, you know, good people. They're not used to them being I think military.
It's established that they're skeptical of human beings and the avatar people, and the speed at which they accept Jake into their life was just so crazy. It's always been one of my like sticking points of the movie. Like this was a bad plot. Like you did not establish this well enough for me to believe that they would accept him.
Yeah.
Like I've had that gripe with this movie for 15 years now.
This wouldn't be a podcast episode without you dragging at least one point in what we're
Yeah.
watching. So
Yeah, I need to fucking like, dude, this makes no sense. I don't like being like, yeah, like if I'm gonna invest into disbelief, right? Like I have
you have to
to,
be suspended in it the whole
yeah.
time.
If I'm gonna suspend my belief to be in a world, then you, as like a writer or a filmmaker, need to keep me there, right? It's your job to keep me there, and things like that are what take me out of it. And like once I get out of it, it's like I'm done. Like I can't even believe what you're talking about anymore. That's why like Game of Thrones in the final seasons became shit, right? It's like I don't believe these people would do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they do it, right? So there you go. And you know,
It
this is
takes
where
time.
you. No, I don't. That night, he's in the fucking tree next to Natiri.
No. I just mean like the trust of Natiri. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
they don't trust him, but they've already accepted him in.
right.
Yeah,
As an experiment.
as an experiment, so that they can learn. It's funny because when he's like, "I'm a warrior in the Jarhead clan,"
Jarhead clan, yeah.
yeah, and then Sute was like, "Warrior, I'll fucking kill him right now."
Yeah, he's like, yeah, right. Step to me.
Sute. Oh man,
He was
I forgot.
extremely skeptical the whole time.
Yeah, he hated him the whole time. Then they become brothers. Brother, I will fly with you.
Yep. That's
Oh
that
man, I
happened.
love this. I love this movie. All right, so then Grace and Quaritch learn about where Jake is. They're fascinated. They can't believe it. Norm is super fucking jealous. Um, Quaritch sees this as a huge opportunity of having a man on the inside so that he knows, yo, if the carrot doesn't work, I need intel to know how to take them down. So everybody sees this as like a positive opportunity where Jake is in the middle and he's now going to go learn how to be a Navi, how to be one of the people. And then I guess, and then I could say, then he does. Like you can watch the movie and see, like, there's like a montage of him, like Rocky style training to become a Navi.
Yep.
Yeah, and he finally he learns how to connect with the horses, how to fish, how to kill, how to like fall from heights unimaginable and still live. And
And
then
then it all
the
comes
final
down.
test, he needs to be a dragon rider.
Right.
He needs to bond with his dragon.
Yep. Which this is I think the introduction to the connection between their hair and the being. They use their hair to connect with other beings, including plants, but also animals to ride.
To link themselves.
Yeah, and then you can guide them without actually pulling them around. You just kind of communicate with them. Like, I want to go straight, I want to go fast, I want to go slow. And so he climbs up this wild
They don't just
mountain.
yell things in High Valyrian?
No, they don't yell.
Okay.
Well, he tries to.
Yeah.
But they climb up the floating mountains. That was
beautiful.
really cool.
Yeah.
And he finds his dragon with some other warriors who are becoming true warriors.
He's with the kids.
Yeah. And he finds one and connects with one, which was quite beautiful. And they
you get
fly together.
The beautiful scene of him and Natiri flying. He's like, I didn't know how to ride horses, but man, I was built for the air.
Yep. And I mean, through this whole time, I think important to mention that he's sort of going back to Colonel Quaritch and he's sharing information. He's sharing intel. He's like, this is where this is where they sleep. There's structures that you would need to blow up and he's trying to get him to find the largest concentration of Awa, which is this tree that is very important to the Navi people.
Yeah, so they he's giving them intel of how, like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because he's giving Quaritch intel on like load-bearing structures and intel on like geography and things. While at the same time, right, he's learning about the people. You can tell he's
getting
really
close to them.
He's getting close to Natiri. He's really liking it. He's like understanding what they value. I think he says something where it's like, yeah, what are they gonna he sees how important the interconnectivity is between the people and their environment that they live in. And he's like, what are we going to give this up for? Like a bunch of roads, a school?
Yeah. And
Like,
also
no, like,
he gets hesitant, and at the
yeah,
same time Grace and Norm realize what's going on, and they take him to this sort of outpost. And so
exactly.
he's able to like dive deeper into their
Yeah,
culture and their people, without that sort of feeling like he has to share everything he learns. And I think that was helpful for him in detaching from Colonel Quaritch and the
exactly.
military. And I think that it was kind of
Yeah,
thankfully that Grace did that, which moved the story
exactly.
forward.
Yeah, it helped him sort of separate between, it helped like split up this like dual relationship that he was having, let him like deeper entrench himself with the Navi people. And we see like after he does his first flight, he's actually fully accepted to become a Navi person. They, do all the white paint and stuff like that.
Big ceremony.
And big ceremony. He becomes one of the people. And then one of the things is he's also able to find a mate. And who does
Yes.
he pick?
I just have to say, I was confused as to when, I guess, does he not need to sleep? This was the one plot point that I was confused about, because when he's asleep, he's actually awake. His body is asleep. His mind is never sleeping, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that Grace was warning him about, right? Is that
Yeah.
he has to take care of both bodies. And you could see in the outpost that he was neglecting one of them,
Yeah, it
right? You
was
could see
very
him.
interesting.
Yeah. They show him his human body getting very skinny,
Mm-hmm.
not shaved, unkept, right? They
Mm-hmm.
should but I think they make an effort to make us understand that you have to take care of both bodies, and that he was neglecting one of them.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. They tried though.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah,
definitely a big internal conflict.
yeah. So he becomes part of the people. We get our beautiful scene with him and Natiri in the AWA fields, where she's teaching him now what it means to be part of the people, things that he gets to do. One of which is pick a partner, and he picks her, and then we get our bound chicken wow wow Navi love scene.
So hot. Was
Like,
that when you would make your move on your dates at the
yeah,
movies?
yeah. That's when I'll attach my braid to them. Like,
Oh, your beard
yeah.
braid?
I had hair then.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
You're like, this could be us, and then you
Oh yeah,
interwove your braid.
that was definitely the move making part of the evening.
The usher is like, oh, again, again, he's braiding hair with someone.
Yeah, yeah. Now the usher will walk up to me afterwards and be like, "You're 5 for 9." No, but yeah, that was a
5 for 9 is like okay odds. I like that you high fived him for that. That's not bad though.
I'll take 5 for 9. 5 for 9 gets you. 5 for 9 gets you into the Hall of Fame.
He's like 5 for 9, yeah, and I'm like, wait,
that's not bad. I'm not a woman.
The other ones left the movie. They're like, what is? They're like, I already saw Avatar.
Yeah. Think anything's happening here because you got a $14 movie ticket? Fuck out of here.
They're like, oh no, I've seen the braid trick before. That was like the most popular quote unquote pickup line of the time.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, anywho, what's next after the scene?
Well, that's when they give up on Jake. The military gives up on Jake. Yeah. They're like, listen, dude, you're not meeting your promises. You're not helping us get these resources. You're not getting them to give up these resources on their own. So we're going to make them give up their resources. And in fact, right after he does the deed,
they blow up. They blow the part up. Yep.
She's like trying to shake him awake, and he's he's in his human form, trying to eat, trying to take care of his body.
Exactly.
I was
It's
on the
funny because
edge
he
of my
was like,
seat.
when he was there, he was like, "Oh my god." He did his thing with Nateri, and then was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing?"
Yeah, he's like, oh god, oh geez.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Relatable.
think yeah,
Relatable.
put it like this. I think for the remainder of the story, it becomes really simple, right? So with one big plot point that we'll go over, but just to like, for the sake of this not going as long as Avatar actually is, the rest of the movie is basically Jake's conflict. Now that internal conflict that he was having becoming an external one, right? Where he has to choose sides. Is it the Colonel Quaritch approach, or does he side with the Navi people and help them, right? And we see we see how he gets to this decision, but his decision ends up becoming he needs to help the Navi people. He wants to be part of those people. They realize that he was a double agent and he was actually helping them, and they banish him. Right? They banish him from being one of the Navi. Natiri is like, go fuck yourself. We don't want to deal with you. You'll never be one of us. And Jake is like, I need to help these people and needs to figure out a way to do it. And so that's where he becomes like Turuk Makto, right? Where he goes get the big dragon. And it's like that dragon, nobody's ever not many people have ever ridden it, and the ones who have are actually like mythical sort of people who bind the clans of Pandora for a common purpose. Like that's the lore behind Turuk. And then I mean it's really simple. Like then they have their big battle scenes, they fight, and eventually the Navi people win because their connection with Awa helps them to win, right? They're able to access the animals, the people, the flying dragons, to all overtake the mean capitalistic humans and sort of like win the day.
And nature versus
Exactly.
machine. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the big plot points that happen at the end is Grace dies, Stephen Lang's Colonel Quaritch dies, Michelle Rodriguez dies in this battle. And Jake ends up he has Awa transfers his body permanently into the Avatar body. So it transfers his consciousness permanently into the Avatar. And that's it. Like that's how it ends, right? It's like, the humans are sent back home. Jake is now a Navi, and him and Natiri are like booed up now. Sute dies as well. Sute falls out of the plane in the big battle scene. I'm never gonna be able to do that stuff justice. Like you're gonna have to watch it. Like I said, once the inner conflict becomes the outer conflict, that's just like raw TV, right? Like you just gotta like badass shit happens. But that's sort of it. Like that's where we are left off at the end of the movie. So anything you think we should add there?
No, it was a long setup for a big sort of fight, lots of fight scenes. So it's a good movie.
Yeah, it was great. So how I'm trying to think like how I don't know how this is going to lead into the new movie. I mean, I'm really excited about it. Like, have you seen the trailers for it yet?
I just watched the trailer before this, and it got me even more excited, especially after just watching the movie, seeing this trailer, seeing Black Panther. It got me excited because this one is going to be related to the water. So that was kind of fun. Is like I'm probably going to be doing a lot of mental comparison of the sea people that were in Black Panther. But the trailer is pretty freaking epic.
Yeah, so you want to watch it? I
Yeah,
think
let's watch it.
we've already been going an hour. We might as well
Yeah, let's go.
let's get into it. Let me see here. Let's watch the trailer. See what we're up against. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, this looks beautiful.
There
There's
she
our
is.
boo. Oh
And
my gosh,
she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Yep.
Dad, I know you think I'm crazy. That's behind those big rocks.
They
So
got
that's
dreads
their
now?
kid.
Or they always
That's
had
their
dreads?
kid.
I feel her.
It's AWOC.
I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
Oh my god, look at that whale. Oh my god, this is gonna be so
What does her
beautiful.
heartbeat sound like? Mighty.
Look, I'm getting goosebumps.
I know. So we have some more fire.
We cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast.
And
That's all
another.
they see.
I see.
Oh, they're gonna do it
What's
again?
that?
The way of water connects all things. Before your birth
Oh, look at the
and after
baby.
your
Oh,
death.
I know.
This is our home!
I need you with me. And I need you to be strong. Strong heart.
Oh.
Yes. She still has her father's bow.
The way of water.
Oh my god.
See. And I do love that the sea people. And like, are they
Dude,
going to
that
be able
looks
to breathe
amazing.
underwater?
That looks amazing.
It does look amazing. I'm really excited. I can't wait. And it's going to be nice and long too.
Ooh.
Hopefully I don't have to look. I don't look at my clock, which I don't think I will. Like I think
Dude.
it's just going to be so good the whole time. Do you
That
wait, my
looks
question for
amazing.
you, but do you think it's going to be the same story over?
Yes, it looks the same. It does look the same.
So I'm going to go in mentally prepared for that so that I just enjoy it. Cause I'm just going to be like, all right, I'm here
With
for
the-
the visuals. You know, I'm here for something
Yeah.
of nature versus machine. It looks
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
same,
look
right?
like the story. The story doesn't look like it's taking any leaps and bounds.
No,
The visuals look amazing.
amazing.
I'm kind
On
of
my
worried.
shitty laptop.
I'm worried for Natiri.
I while watching it the first time, I was like, she dies. Like that's what it sounds like. Unclear.
I'm worried for Natiri. One, because of what they showed, and two, Zoe Saldana probably got mad expensive, and they were like, "Yeah,
Yeah, but James Cameron has James Cameron money. So, but I don't know. People keep dying and coming back to life anyway, but I don't know. Just the trailer makes me
Yeah.
think she's not going to make it. And it's going to be more about her kids, which is kind of beautiful, or her daughter, it looks like.
I don't know. I don't see gender."
Father, daughter, you're going to be crying. You're going to cry for sure.
This thing is gonna follow me in my life, right? It's like I went to go see the first one as like a young bachelor finding love, and now this second one is gonna catch me at the point in my life where I'm a father and a daughter. Oh my god, this is I'm gonna
That's it.
this
You're
is gonna be
done.
crazy. This is gonna be crazy. James Cameron is following me.
Yeah, it does look really
He's
good.
like
And
he's like telling stories for me.
don't you think? I think the main audience is men, probably. So I think he knows that, and they use that as a story arc.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I have a daughter.
I hope it does well. I think it looks amazing.
Does look
So
good.
initial reviews on it have all been good,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good sign. The thing this movie was so expensive, and apparently it's gonna need to be like $1 billion before it can start making money. But hey, I'm going to go see it on Thursday, actually. So I'll be first. I'll be in there like one of the very first viewings to be able to see it. I'm most likely gonna watch it a couple times. Maybe not the same as last time because Christine doesn't let me date. But
Oh, I'm surprised.
yeah. But me and her are gonna go see it on Thursday. Um, I probably shouldn't say that because like if her coworkers find out that she's calling out sick on Thursday.
Christine,
Let's see if any. Yeah,
I'm
she's
sure
gonna
they're
leave.
all watching.
Yeah, she's gonna leave work early. So if any of them watch our YouTube video, don't say nothing. Don't snitch.
Yeah, I'm going to see it on Saturday. So I'll be after. Do not spoil a single. I just want to hear
I won't even talk to you
nothing.
till. I
Yes.
won't talk to you till Sunday.
Liar.
Unless I catch like a shiny Pokemon.
I don't believe you. So I am again going to see it. I'm going to Alamo. So I was like talking about how I'm going to take notes on. They have little tables, so I'm going to be sitting there like, love this part, love this.
Yeah.
So that'll be really fun. I won't talk though. You're not allowed to talk there.
Wow. Yeah, I can't. It looks good. I can't wait. My God, that trailer was beautiful.
It is beautiful, and the music
you
is
see
so
many.
good.
I mean, the music sounds like the last one.
Yeah, it's epic.
Yeah, it's epic. But all the different animals that you see in there now, the whales and the fish.
And the squid type creatures.
Yeah.
And they look like they're flying in water, which is beautiful.
Yeah, it does look good. It looks
I'm
good.
so curious about breathing underwater. I'm a little obsessed with that. We'll see. Well, I'll find out soon enough.
The thing, I'm so upset with this franchise. Like the thing, all right, I'm gonna get into my last nitpick, right? My last nitpick with Avatar.
Okay.
Before we start wrapping things up, I'm gonna give you my last nitpick about Avatar as a whole. These people have 14 years, right? This thing looks amazing, but they have 14 years to create a story, right? A lore, right? To start explaining to me what AWA is, to really start going in depth. They could have put out comics or TV shows or books about like sort of background story of these people. Like how did Moat or Etu Khan come into play? Like did they have a story that we don't know about, right? It's like they have 14 years to put out their House of the Dragon or to put out their Silmarillion. And he didn't.
Of opportunity for content.
They didn't do anything.
No, he was too busy diving deep into the sea.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to do it. Like the Avatar as a whole, like I wanted in the last 14 years to be able to learn more about the world. I want to know more. I want to know as much. I wish I knew as much about Pandora as I know about Westeros, right? And that's like such a big missed opportunity, and it makes it so that I'm more interested in seeing the world than I am about caring about the characters.
Yes.
Right. It's
which means this. We both know the story is going to be exactly the same, and we probably won't mind too much. That's a good thing.
That's real. I mean, it's not. I mean, but that's what makes Avatar as like a franchise or whatever always be like visually excellent, but always a B tier story. Right. It's a B tier franchise for me. But like the movie itself and like those things are like epic. But
we'll see. We'll see what they do with
There's no meat on this bone. There's no meat on this Avatar bone.
And I don't think there's gonna be. I just don't think so.
He is vegan, so
veggie meat on his which I love, obviously.
Yeah. So we'll see. So, all right. So I think that covers it. That's
Yeah.
that's everything we have for Avatar for the sequel that's coming out. We're gonna obviously go over the movie when we first see it. We're gonna give a live reaction. We'll give our first take of it probably next weekend, and then maybe go in deeper after we watch it again, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Um, then so yeah, so you'll see some more content from us. Look out for us next week. Hit the subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and then you'll get notified when we post those things. But yeah, that's sort of it. That's all we kind of have for now. We hope you're ready and excited for the new Avatar. Let us know what you think, what you thought about the movie in the comments. But yeah, um, that's all we got for now. How about you, Michelle?
That's it. No, thanks for joining us. I would love
Yeah.
to hear anyone's stories about first seeing the movie or what you have thought about it. So please share
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for watching. Once again, this whole experience is made possible by the good folks over at Good Goods. Go check them out. They're a pretty cool company. Helping to create a world so we don't end up like the Earth in Avatar. Like, right? Start reusing. Stop wasting plastic. Stop creating carbon and emissions. Maybe we won't have to fly light years to Pandora and go steal their unobtainium. Right?
Unobtainium. Yep.
All right, guys. That's all we got. Take it easy. Enjoy yourselves. See you next time.
Peace.